Holy. Abby? Help me. Please. It's you.
But I love how surprising this beat is, right? It's like you keep moving towards this idea of this fight, and the whole way you're like, Ellie, you're too f***ed up, don't do this, don't face Abby, we know what she's like, and now you come to this absolutely wrecked, frail.
I also love, it's pretty much wordless, and you could tell so much with the performance what's going on in their heads, and you could see Ellie's confusion and anger and sadness for what she's witnessing.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like finally the prize is right there, and now it just doesn't feel as satisfying.
I always read that like there are boats this way moment is like, if I'm nice to her, if I'm just like treat her like not my enemy, then maybe like this will all go by quietly.
To me, this is a really nice mirror beat of Joel with Ellie, Joel carrying Ellie, right? And so you have that invocation, and Ellie just has to watch it, has to watch this embodiment of somebody who represents every good part of Joel.
It makes me so sad. This scene. It's just because Ellie doesn't know what to do with all of that anger and that hurt from losing Joel. And now this is the moment.
Yeah, because at this point, that's all Ellie has left. It's just this up quest. Yeah, imagine having that image stuck in your head and not knowing how to get rid of it.
Yeah. And killing somebody else is not going to do it, but
You have to get to that point. You have to realize it yourself.
we actually had a really fun day.
Yeah.
As hard as this scene was, and it's so funny doing this with one of your best friends, of just like fighting each other, pulling her hair, being like, get out of here, let's fight, kick me.
No.
I'm not gonna fight you.
I think that threat is fake, right? It's, I don't think.
Yes. I don't think...
She's bluffing.
I absolutely think she's bluffing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, but I agree, but what would have happened if Abby was like,
No.
no? Like, I feel like she still would have pushed that. I would think she would have pushed that knife in.
This is great that there's all these different interpretations.
That's
'cause
so
I
cool.
I don't think she would. There were all these other versions of how Ellie lost her fingers. Remember, Hallie, of like, there used to be when someone was waiting for her at the farm and then tortured her in retribution for what happened in Seattle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like the parent or somebody
Yeah.
of somebody who died, of like an NPC essentially, who came, and so you're seeing that cyclical nature of violence of like, you killed my person, you killed my person, you killed my person. So somebody you didn't even realize you'd really killed tracks Ellie down.
I love how you pin her with your knee.
Yeah. So originally the conception was that Abby dies here, and it would have been such a different game, I think, if
Yeah.
if right now there was just a body underwater and Ellie was having this moment. Yeah, you didn't know that?
I did not know Abby died here originally.
Well, yeah, originally, like, I think both Yara and Lev died. And this was just Abby by herself when you meet up with her. And then Ellie kills Abby.
Rough.
Yeah.
I think leaving Ellie with 3% of the humanity that she got from who she was, that good kid, that scrappy kid that Joel helped shape. I think if she killed Abby, you would never see that kid again. And this gives a hope that she's still in there a little bit and could be maybe revived in the same way that Abby was revived in the right circumstance.
I agree.
Seeing the reactions, there's people that wanting to know, what was it exactly that made Ellie stop? Is it Lev? Is it this memory of Joel? Is it everything she's experienced? Is it just like Abby's state, that it's not this person that defeated her in the theater? And to me, it's all those things. The way our brains work is so messy. And that's the story was always meant to be very messy in that way, that there aren't these clear-cut answers.
To me, that moment is 2 more seconds, this girl is dead. So I already know what this feels like. I can see what I'm going to feel like 5 seconds from now.
Yes.
And it's no different.
Yes.
So why? Originally, the house was fully empty, and there was a concern, I think, that we had that it's going to feel like something bad happened to Dina, and we don't want to make it feel like it's
Right.
that's the thought in her head. It's more, Dina has made that choice to move back.
If she had to move back too, she couldn't stay there alone with a baby. It was too dangerous.
But I do think there's something poetic in, like, she didn't take Ellie's things with her.
Yeah.
There wasn't a, I'm waiting for
I'm
you, I'm
leaving
going to
this
build a home.
behind.
It's I'm letting this, I'm
Letting it
letting
go.
this die, yeah, here. And I'm going to let everything rot for you.
Well, that's really bleak.
Yeah, we wanted to create a metaphor for the unintended consequences of pursuing justice at any cost. And here we get to feel it of this song that means so much to Ellie, she just can't play it anymore. Also interesting thinking about Joel's headspace right now, like just been humiliated by Ellie in front of everyone. Who knows what's going through his head, but for me, sometimes when I get just filled with anxiety, it's guitar. It's just sitting down and just jamming and just...
Yeah, not even playing a song, just playing through something.
And we've had this scene at different spots of the game until we finally landed. It's this final moment.
Yeah, I think originally we were going to put it before the midpoint showdown of the game.
Right.
Oh, it plays so much better at the end.
Yeah, no,
It does.
now you can't imagine it anywhere else
Yeah.
once it's here.
What are you drinking?
Traded his soul for coffee.
Where'd you get that?
Those people that came through last week.
I would do the
A little
same.
embarrassed as to what I had to trade.
This is the most Ashley has ever pushed back on a scene.
Wait,
Really?
Which this was because originally it was written that they hug at the end of this scene, and you're like, I don't know if they would. I'm not sure like we could get all the way there. You were a sport about it, and we did two versions, one with a hug, one without a hug, and they were both very, very good. But ultimately, you were right. They're starting to forgive each other, but they're not fully there. Ultimately, makes it more tragic.
Yeah. I think that's why she goes on this journey, because it's just like it was never solved. Our relationship was never fixed.
Dina. Is she your girlfriend?
No. No, that was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything. She just, I don't know why she did that.
But you do like her.
They just have like a father-daughter moment. Just this
Yeah.
exchange about this crush that she has on this other girl, and Joel telling her like she would be lucky to have you. Again, he has unconditional love for Ellie, and that's what drives her mad. It'd be so much easier if he was
If
just
he
a
was
complete
just-
piece of shit.
Oh,
That
yeah.
you could just forget about him,
Yeah.
but you can't.
I mean, that's what's hard. I mean, she knows that he cares, and she knows that he does love her.
I was supposed to die in that hospital.
I also love that you
My life
bring
would
it to,
mattered.
we're talking around the thing that we need to talk about.
You took that from
And
me.
you doing all of these gestures to try to make it better is not what I want. I'm going to bring it back to what the issue is, and that's I should have died in that hospital.
I also love watching. When do you both decide to make eye contact?
Oh, right. Interesting.
And it's like right here for the watch at the end of this statement for emphasis. All eye contact. Because I am dead serious. I don't care the cost. I would do it all over again, even if it means I'd lose you.
There is something to be said for your writing in this, which is I would do it all over again, and I would do it all over again. Walk the knife's edge of meaning, because there's one that is repentant and there is one that is resolute.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that.
like this false moment. I can never forgive that. And he's ready to accept it. And then he's all of a sudden, but I'd like to try. And then I think the waterworks for everyone
Yeah.
just start right here. We did a lot of work of just writing these scenes and not being heavy-handed to talk about theme, but there is something about just the placement of the scene here. And it's a scene about getting over some horrible transgression that one feels, because there's other things that are worthwhile in this world than just kind of living in this resentment, next to the moment where Ellie decides to let Abby go. And whether she fully forgives her or not almost doesn't even matter. It's just she knows there's other things in life that are more worth putting your focus on. It's interesting seeing since the game has come out. It's been out for a few years now. How many different interpretations there are for this leaving of the guitar here. Whether it's she's fully forgiven Joel, or whether she's fully forgiven Abby, or whether she's willing to move on, or whether she just doesn't want to be under Joel's shadows anymore. And when people always I don't know if you get this often, people often come to me and they want the answer. They're like, which one is it? And I'm like, it's all those things. It's all those things in some way. Like, people's minds are so complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's what we've been talking about with grief and how that can sort of manifest in somebody.
I'll caveat by saying this is my own interpretation. And it doesn't mean that it's right. It's just mine. But sometimes you have so many triggers for trauma that you just need to let anything that might trigger you, you just have to let it go and start over.
I mean, how I felt in that moment of, it's easier just to not get close to people.
We know when we were writing this, we had so many conversations about leaving it on a hopeful note. And even though it's very dark, I do find it to be a hopeful note. It's left with that question of once you've committed all these atrocities yourself, can you come back from that? And we saw that Joel was able to, and then maybe Ellie could as well.
I remember when you guys told me that was going to happen, and I was very nervous. Man, what a journey.
It's a long game.
It's a long game.
I'm curious, how do you interpret her leaving the guitar behind Ashley? Because she could have taken it with her. She could learn to play left-handed.
I think that so much of it is, I feel like it's a lot of things. I feel like some of it is, deserving is not the word that I'm looking for, but I feel like there's a part of Ellie that's like, you know what, this is part of a life that I had that I now have to kind of leave behind because of the choices that I've made and the things that I did. And I think it's going to be easier if I just leave it all and not have to go back and try to visit it every day. And I think also having if she did take the guitar with her, that would be a constant reminder of Joel.
Like, it would be triggering.
It would be triggering in a way. And I think, if Ellie had therapy in this world, it probably would have ended differently. But as someone who knows, like when you go through stuff and you just kind of trash compactor it down into your body and not deal with it, I think that's kind of where she's at. But kind of just if I leave it all behind, this is what I kind of deserve.
Do you think if she leaves the guitar behind, she's hoping that she will no longer have the...
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that there, of maybe if I don't have this reminder, I'll get over it, because trying to find revenge and retribution, that didn't fill that hole. What do you think it is? What do you guys think it is when you were thinking of leaving the guitar there? And specifically because cutting off the fingers was a very strong choice, to not be able to play the guitar and have that connection anymore.
Sometimes it's hard to kind of reverse engineer what was the inspiration or the process, but I find playing guitar so therapeutic. And I associate music with specific times in my life and memories that then if someone were to take that away from me, and especially if I were responsible for the reason it's taken away from me, then it might be too hard to just constantly play it badly or especially this particular guitar that's gifted to her by Joel. And right, her memories with Joel are, I think, mostly positive, but it's mixed with some negative stuff and the journey of the first game. And this is a point where I think she wants to start over, that she came to the brink of being a villain. And I mean, in some ways she was, and she probably killed many people on this journey that might not have deserved that fate. But I think now she wants to go on a journey to reflect on that and find a different purpose. I'm curious, maybe Ashley and then Laura, like, how do you feel years later now? People had very strong reactions to this game, both positive and negative. And how do you feel about it?
I feel like I have so many feelings about it. I feel like now having some years behind us of the game being out, I love this game so much, and I think it's such a beautiful piece of media because of the story and the narrative and what it has to say, and that's so much to Hallie and Neil. I think the aftermath when it first came out, seeing what Laura had to deal with, my friend, and you guys, and all of us, of something that we cared about so much. And in the process of 5 years of making this and all of the hands that touched it. And there was a period that was rough because you're getting this judgment from people who don't fully know the story and it was hard.
It was rough.
It was rough.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of after too of people. But I don't feel like when we were playing the game that, yeah, Ellie is making some really strong decisions. But it's funny, a lot of people that would come up and be like, dude, Ellie's like a murderer. What happened to her? And I'm like, no, she's got some stuff. But even still, like now having, coming out of that time of I feel like that was one of the first times where I've sort of dealt with like a reaction like that.
Uh-huh.
And it sucks. It hurts, especially if you love something so much.
Yeah.
And all the time that everybody put into it. And it sucked seeing my friend get attacked and things that all of you guys of things that I care about, but I know that's so much of the world we live in. But
I think it was just like a perfect storm of timing too. And because everybody was so separated, we were all dealing with that separately, right?
Yes.
We didn't get to see each other and like talk it through.
Right.
And it's crazy because for so long, and I've talked to you about this, like there was no closure for the
Yeah.
game. Normally like you wrap and we have like a wrap party and we get to like see everybody and
Unpack.
kind of like rejoice in what we made and like how much of our hearts we poured into something.
Yeah.
And we never got the celebration
Yeah.
of finishing it and seeing it released to the world. And all we got instead was like that vitriol like thrown.
Ugh.
So it was rough, but it's, again, it's been years and I'm so just proud. And it's a story that if you play it, I don't see how it can't change you.
Yeah.
It changes how you view violence. It changed how I played games. Like as I was playing the game, I found myself, I wasn't attacking people anymore. Like I started like, I love to just destroy every person that I come across. Like it's a completion thing for me. And as I'm playing, I was like, I stealthed everywhere. Instead, I didn't want to hurt anyone anymore.
Yeah.
I remember when we started doing press at the end of the game, toward the end of the game, people would be like, oh my God, and all the dogs, you have to kill all the dogs. And I remember being like, you don't actually have to kill any of the dogs but Alice. So that's on you. And people like having to own that reality, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to face your own ugliness in the game. And I think I think the game will age well. I think the story and the mechanics and the beauty of the world will hold up over time as an incredibly complex piece of storytelling in and of itself, outside of like its own medium.
Yeah.
I hope, but yeah, that was a rough time.
Well, I remember, right, so it's months before the game comes out. We have to delay it indefinitely.
Yeah.
So there's a backlash from our most hardcore fans. And people are just waiting in the wings to attack Naughty Dog
Yeah.
because we're woke and diverse and all these
Woke,
other reasons.
diverse, taking too long to get a game out.
So we're all at home and we're all kind of have to be depressed at home as this is happening and finish the game.
Yeah.
And then the game comes out and it goes on a little bit of a redemption arc because it won all these awards. And I don't know if I've ever talked about this, or I was afraid to like talk to you all about this. But my greatest fear when that backlash was happening was that I've let you all down in some way, that I didn't do right by you.
Ugh.
And that's why I've always been afraid to kind of talk about it with you because I feel like I would get really emotional. I remember talking with Troy about it because I'm like, dude, I apologized to him. I'm like, I feel like I did you wrong. And now you're like, and he's like, no, what are you talking about? Like, I love this thing. Like, I wouldn't change a beat. But, we all had our share of all sorts of things that were really awful to deal with at the time. And when people ask me, like, was it worth it? Was it worth doing this whole thing? And when I think about myself, I say, yes, I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'm so proud of this thing. When I think about what you all went through, that's the one thing that gives me pause. That especially you, Laura, what you went through. That's when I'm like, I don't know if I would put an actor through that again. And it sucks that that's kind of the world that we live in. But I just care about you so much that I felt terrible for what you were going through.
Well, we were all going through it. So,
but then when you started winning all those awards, I was like, I hope. And again, I was so afraid to talk to you about it. I'm like, I hope that's some sort of vindication.
oh my
I hope.
gosh, yeah, yes, and like I said, I think it's just time, right?
Yeah.
When it first happened, it was not a good time.
No.
But-
God, I forgot
But I mean, I'm
that was...
still like, oh,
But
I love it.
I do love it. And, there's some people that just hate the game and hate us for it.
Sure.
And there's way more that love it. And some people say it's their greatest story they've experienced out of any media. And some people say it's the worst story they've experienced out of any media. But the interesting thing to me about it is like this game is so much about tribalism and saying I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
And losing the nuance of that conversation. And so much of the conversation, years later now, people are still arguing about it on that level and not seeing the irony that they're kind of proving the point of the story, the way they're arguing about whether Joel was right or Abby was right or Ellie. And it's like, no one was right, no one was wrong. It's just messy and gross in the way that these conflicts usually are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like looking back on this, it's so funny because I think when all of the backlash was coming out, I had a similar feeling like you did, which I think I told you, where I was like, it's my fault.
What?
I f***ed it up.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's just it's such a like I don't know. I think I don't know. I mean, it's probably the same thing that you felt where you're just like, okay, cool. I when it really just doesn't have anything to do with you. It's a lot of people, like Laura was saying, a lot of the frustrations that people were having and the timing that we were in. But when I think back on this game, I love both games so much. But I feel like the story and I don't want to say the message of the game because it's like there's so much to say. I'm so proud of what we all made. And I think as I get older, I still feel like this is going to be something that I hold so dear because of something that we were able to accomplish and the story that we were able to tell, especially in a video game, and that it's a bunch of I mean, badass women that are taking on this world, and it's a perspective that you don't see a lot, especially in video games. And as hard as that time was, I'm so proud that we got to be a part of it, that I got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I regret every moment. It's the worst thing I've ever done.
I guess maybe to wrap it up here, it's a joy. It's been awesome working with you both. I can't wait to do it again on whatever project we might do in the future. But there's a reason that I keep coming back to working with the same people over and over again. Because one, you try to find talent, but maybe even more important than that is you want to enjoy the people you work with. And despite we landed the plane, even if the landing was a bit rough with what happened there at the end. Again, just looking at myself, not for everything you've experienced, I would easily do it all over again.
Same.
Same.
No.
Well, you're out.
Well, I left.
I would do it. I would do it all again, but I would not have a Twitter account.
Maybe that's the
That's the
final
key.
lesson of Last of Us Part 2,
Yes.
which is
Get off social media.
Get off of social media. Well, after several hours with us, this is the end of our commentary. Thank you for hanging in there. I hope you got some insight into our process. As you can tell, we're very proud of this game. Until next time, endure and survive.